This will be the last part of section 2.6. I'm going to start by doing one more example of where I left off, which was just solving some proportions. So I'll do one more of these where we need to cross multiply. So I'm going to say it's 3 times the whole quantity, d minus 7, and 4 times the whole quantity, 2d minus 1. I will go ahead and distribute my 3 through. So I get 3d minus 21 equals, distribute my 4 through, 8d minus 4. I like to change my signs to plus the opposite. I notice people make less mistakes this way. I'm going to move the smallest variable to the other side. So I'm going to move my 3d over by subtracting 3d. That gives me 5d plus negative 4 equals negative 21. Next, I need to move my negative 4 over. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. I end up getting negative 17 equals 5d. And lastly, I'll divide by 5. This doesn't divide out evenly, so I'll say that d is equal to negative 17 over 5. Or if you want to convert that, you could say it's negative 3 2/5. The next thing I want to talk about is when we're setting up our own proportions, we've got to make sure that our units are matching up in the same places on our ratios. So we're going to put matching units on numerators and matching units on denominators. So what am I talking about? Well, when we're given story problems like this, what we can do is go ahead and make our first ratio or rate from the information we're given. 5 cups of flour make 120 cookies. So 5 cups make 120 cookies. And notice that I'm putting the labels on there, because what I'm going to do when I answer this next question is I'm going to match up my units like I was just talking about doing. How many cookies can be made with 2 cups of flour? So they give me the units 2 cups. So that means I need to match these two up. So I'm going to put 2 cups on the top of the fraction, and down below is what I'm trying to figure out, how many cookies I can make with that. So this is a proportion, so I'm going to be able to cross multiply just like we were doing on the other problems. 5x equals 240. Divide by 5 on both sides. And 5 goes in there 48 times. Let's check that to be sure. 48 times 5 is 240. So 48 is correct. I'd be able to make 48 cookies. Next example. It gives me 8 gallons of gas took me 224 miles. How many miles can I go on 13 gallons? So I'll go ahead and write just 8 gallons over 224 miles. And normally we'll write that miles per gallon, but in this case it doesn't really matter. All we gotta do is make sure that we're matching our units up correctly. It says 13 gallons, so gallons needs to be matched up with gallons. So I'll be putting gallons on the top of the fraction so that, once again, gallons is matched up with gallons, and I can figure out how many miles that would take me. I'm going to cross multiply. I get 8x equals, let's go ahead and figure out what 224 times 13 is. 224 times 13 is 2,912. So I get 2,912. And then I'll be dividing that by 8. So I'll go ahead and divide that by 8. And I end up getting 364. Let's see if I can at least set up one more problem with the time I have left. I probably won't have time to solve this one, but we can set it up. We're going to walk 2 miles in 35 minutes. How far can I walk in 60 minutes? Well, I would write my 60 not on top. I was reading that wrong. I want 60 minutes, so I want my minutes on the bottom. When I cross multiply and solve, I'll be able to come up with the right answer. I'm out of time on this video, so this will be the end of section 2.6.